Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Vian. Today we are going to talk about a very simple and a question that everyone has talked about. I remember when I was 16, I discussed about this question with my mother. And when I'm 26, I question myself. And now I'm 35. I think I'm ready to actually share my thoughts with all of my friends or my fans on the other side. So the topic for today is, do we have to get married? Alright, I will divide it into 3 generations. The first generation will be my mother and daddy, their generation. So when we talk about marriage, my mom and dad was very traditional people. They always said that you have to get married. It's such a milestone. You have to get married, you have to start to set up your family, and you have to educate your kids. Then you will see your kids to grow up and you're gonna get retired. This is the image I have. Now, it's my generation now. I've got 2 different types of people happening around my life. The first type is they get married early or normal or late. And the other type is they never get married. I'm not very sure about the generation which is my daughter. Recently I had a conversation with her. I said, so how many when you grow up, are you going to marry someone? She said, no, I don't want to do it. And I asked her why. She said, I just want to do whatever I want. Maybe this answer is a bit stupid or maybe a bit childish to you, but the topic and my answer today for every one of you, regarding to the topic, the question, do we have to get married? My answer is, no, we don't have to. Why? Because I think marriage is actually a test for all of us in our life. It is a test for you to understand what relationship is really happening. When we were teenagers, we have those puppy loves. It's more like expressing our love to someone else. And also, we are requiring for return. I love you, you have to love me as well. If you don't, let's just break up. Then when we reach 20-ish, there are some friends around us, they start to get married, like straight after uni. And you see that they get married, they have children very early, and their life is completely off from your life. When you go to nightclub, when you go to overseas trips, they are raising their kids. They are trying to get a job and they can support their own family. So then you question, do I have to do that? Answer is quite obvious. This is your own choice. Because to me, I think marriage is not really the definition of love. Marriage to me is something that you are going to test yourself, and you have to learn how to tolerance. You have to learn how to sacrifice. And also, when you're having a test, you might quit. You might keep going. You might get 100 out of 100. You might get 60 out of 100. But, guys, you have to remember, no matter what sort of mark you're having, you have to try your best. Remember when we go to an exam, if you're not prepared, normally what you're trying to do is you sit there and you look at the people next table and then trying to see what answer that person has written, right? So that's what you're trying to do. But you can't really do that for your marriage. This is your own commitment, right? So what I can give it to you, the answer is, you don't have to. But if you actually enter the marriage, I will highly recommend you to try your best. And don't think about the outcome. And I think for our generation, we have to understand, getting married is romantic. But marriage doesn't mean you can be a successful husband or wife for the entire marriage. You might get divorced, you might keep going, you might be happy, you might be unhappy, but you have to remember this is a test to you and to all of us. So my advice will be just smile and enjoy. No matter what happens in this journey, this is your own choice. This test paper is written with your own name. What else can we do, right? But at the end, I also wanted to share with you, to myself, being more relevant, the upside of a marriage and the downside of a marriage. To me, the upside of marriage is, I'm a girl. So I always have that dream that I'm gonna get married to someone, and I'm gonna having a wedding dress, and I'm gonna have a banquet with all of my friends. I'm gonna have those sparkling rings, and I'm gonna have all those sparkling jewelries, a big house, a new car, and stuff. But when I look back for those upside, I just noticed that this is not really the definition of marriage and love, right? This is just the procedure to get married, that's it. And then, Ben, when you're really getting married, this is the downside now. The downside is you have to commit to a person in a relationship which is not puppy love anymore. You need to sacrifice your career, sacrifice your health, sacrifice your mood, sacrifice your lifestyle to fit in with someone completely different. It might be interesting though, it might be fresh, it might really be something that you feel like, oh, this is so fun, but don't forget, there are always two sides of a ball. Upside, downside. So it really depends how you balance it. So I will say that I will still support and I will encourage my daughters to get married or my son to get married, but I also wanted to educate the next generation, the downside of a marriage. Because we have never learned how to sacrifice, right, ourselves and to expand our tolerance level before we come into a marriage. No one really teaches properly. You have to remember this and that before you get married. And when we really get into that situation, some people will just get overwhelmed. Some people will be, okay, I can try. And some people will be, oh, it's fine. So I think we should all get prepared for this and then enter marriage. Because to me, a happy marriage is not really a marriage that you start when you're 20 and you all holding hands until you're 80. I think a happy marriage is you actually grow, learn, and improve yourself within this relationship. No matter the end, no matter how many marks you get at the end, you have learned what's the definition of marriage. I think that's all about. Thank you for listening. Please follow my socials below and please like or share my video to your friends who are going to get married or who might be interested in this topic. Please don't forget to press the bell button on the top and I will see you next time. Bye!